Good morning, do 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 do. Good morning to you. Good morning. It feels so good to start the day with you guys. Welcome to a daily dose of joy, where we are going to dose our brains on the fly. Dose them with positive neurotransmitters that generate an easier capacity for joy and vibrancy and clarity. And we are pumping it up with dopamine and oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. Today, the microdosing tool we're going to use is the Woopsie Daisy story. Woopsie Daisy. We just had a Woopsie Daisy here, so is already laughing. My son is getting up early today. He's got some assignments, and so he's like, I'm gonna get up when you get up, mommy, which to him is just crazy early. But he set his alarm and he must have hit snooze because I'm down here getting started. All of a sudden it is womp 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 womp. So the Woopsie Daisy story you're gonna hear in a minute, I've already told once this morning. But I figured y'all wouldn't appreciate that alarm, in the middle of our lovely time that we're dosing our brains this morning. Womp, womp, womp. Okay, but now I'm going to tell you the Woopsie Daisy stories I was already thinking of, and tell you one of my ways of helping get people into telling Woopsie Daisy stories. Excuse me, is using a theme, because all this great neurochemistry in our brain is helping if you've had a lot of stress and other situations in your life. Sometimes the hippocampus, the memory center of your brain, can kind of diminish, get smaller, but the great thing is it re-enlarges. So we're wanting to use this tool to also help pull up memories and stories and repetition of things that might get buried in there unused. And so it's amazing. I'll give people a topic like Braz's home decor. If you've been here for a while, you've heard that one before. Or, funny stories with your cell phone, or whoopsie daisies of, like, how did this happen? And so he said it again. Yeah, Mom. Sweet. What? Honey, I'm recording a daily dose of joy. You're on camera. No, sweetie, didn't say your name. Yes, we're gonna roll with it this time. Because that's really the word, and it might be hard to do that many takes. Whoopsie Daisy. Okay, well, this is awesome. This is like a living example of what it's like when you prime your brain and train your brain to see discomfort and the unexpected. It just almost becomes, like a hair trigger reaction for laughter. It definitely happens throughout my day. Didn't used to, now it does. Those microdosing tools might be up to something. So, encourage you to give it a try at home. Let's do the theme of odd things or things you might laugh at with your cell phone. Whether it is the battery dying in an inopportune moment, or you maxing out your memory space when you really need it. You're just the unusual, embarrassing, texts that appear at an appropriate time. There are gobs and gobs of Woopsie Daisy stories attached to our cell phones. I thought I would tell y'all two this morning. One is that I I was doing a practice with a friend of mine, and we were on the phone together, and it was a couple of years ago. It was a busy day, and I was driving to the school for a parent presentation of all the kids in the class were presenting pieces of a project that they were doing. And I had done my part of the practice in the car on the way over. And then now my friend was going, but she knew I was really short on time. And so she's just like, it's okay. I just, it's good to have you there, know you're there. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to put you in my pocket. I'm going to turn the volume all the way down and just put you in my pocket. And she said, cool, no problem. And so she's has a beautiful sort of lilty, dreamy voice. And I turn the volume down, you can't hear her at all. Like, I'm just, okay, she's just right there. Accountability, solidarity. And I go in and I'm listening to the kids' presentation. And this one is really poignant, and it's about a chickenpox epidemic. And he's telling this story, and he gets to the really gripping part of the story where a young child is taken by this horrible disease. And then you hear, it's like Jiminy Cricket is in my pocket going, very good, yay! Very good, yay! Because she had finished her practice and was yelling at the top of her lungs. So she sounded tiny like Jiminy Cricket, but in a room of very quiet, respectful parents listening to a child sing, you could hear Jiminy Cricket loud and clear. And I already turned the volume all the way down, so there was like nothing I could do, but like I'm trying to like mute it with my hand, like just muffle the sound. And the parents are turning and looking at me. Whoopsie daisy. Whoopsie daisy. It happens. Whoopsie daisy. Num, 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 num. Oh, yeah. So many good ones. So another whoopsie daisy that happened on my phone was I had been with a friend who who was getting married. And so she had she had been really excited to show me some of the engagement rings. She's getting married, and she wanted to show me engagement rings that they were looking at, and her phone battery died, so she picked up my phone and started showing me all these beautiful engagement rings. And about, I don't know, 4 or 5 days later, I'd been up in the mountains with her, and I'm back in Atlanta, and I am on like date 4 with a new guy. Tales from being single, like I'm going on dates, and it was very exciting. And you know how the browsers will show you ads related to your searches. And so he says, oh, can I borrow your phone? And he picks up my phone. Oh, he's going to text, like, I don't know why he was borrowing my phone. Actually, I can't remember what the story was, but he picks it up, and there are all these ads for engagement rings. And I'm sitting next to him, and I see what's happening, and I see it start registering in his head. Like, why is this single woman on a 4th date, perusing engagement rings? And finally he says something. He's like, wow, you sure seem to be shopping for engagement rings. Is there something you haven't told me? And I'm like, yeah, I just thought I'd go out with you. It was like, just to make sure I was making the right decision with Joe over here. Because what do you do? Like, whoopsie daisy. It just seemed too canned to say, oh no, those are my friends. It's sort of like the dog stole my homework. Like, whoopsie daisy. Oh, well, those are just a few of my cell phone whoopsie daisy stories. And so just let that percolate around in your head and see if some story of your own comes out. And for example, I told y'all the first one, and I had kind of thought about that, especially because I did a dry run already today with the alarm. But the second one just came to me after I was telling that one and thinking about the funny things that happen with cell phones. It's like, oh yeah, there was that. And so just let this prompt percolate for you and just notice and look for it. And you might ask a friend or a family member, like, has there ever been any embarrassing moment or inappropriate activity or strange shenanigans that went on with your cell phone? I hope that it will help you begin to see the world through the eyes of humor and lightness, to be looking for those whoopsie daisy stories, and then share them. Or a bunch of the really positive brain benefits come in. And if you don't have one to share, you can always borrow one that you've heard. You can borrow any one of mine. I don't have propriety over them. I'm happy for them to go out into the world and do their whoopsie daisy best. Yeah, and just give it a try. It will really surprise you. Have a wonderful day. May the universe surprise and delight us today. I look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow.